Climate change is a phenomena that affects the regional and global climate. The primary factor that causes the climate change is the burning of fossil fuel, which emits carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases into the air. Now, what is climate change? What is global warming? And is global warming and climate change the same thing? Let's discuss all about this in this video. Now, the climate change is one of the environmental issues that challenges the future of human life on the earth. So, the first question that comes to your mind is, what is climate change? Now, the term climate change is often used to refer specifically to the anthropogenic climate change. It can be defined as the long term climate variation due to increase in the average surface temperature of the earth. This is important. Average surface temperature on the earth increases over a period of time, maybe decades, maybe million of years. So it's a phenomena that takes time. It affects the regional and the global climate. So what do you mean by global warming? And is global warming same as climate change? Now, we often use global warming and climate change as synonyms, but there is much difference between both of them. The global warming is an increase in the average temperature of the Earth's atmosphere, whereas climate change is a result of the global warming. So, if global warming will not happen, climate change will not happen. As simple as that. What causes climate change? Now, this is another important question which has to be answered by all of us. What is the reason for climate change? Why is it that Earth is becoming a difficult place to live for all the people? Now, the primary reason that causes climate change is the burning of fossil fuel, which emits carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases into the air. Deforestation, which is cutting down of the trees, is also one of the factors in the climate change because it contributes to the proliferation of greenhouse gases. So, if there are no trees, the greenhouse gases will increase in quantity. Now, the solar energy determines the equilibrium of the climate and temperature on the earth. The energy distributed around the earth by wind, ocean currents, and other mechanisms affects region as well as the global climate. So the average temperature of the earth will slowly rise because of deforestation, because of burning of more fossil fuels, because of less availability of forest cover. So if the flow of energy gets distributed for at least a few decades, it may be for millions of years due to the emission of greenhouse gases that will disturb the equilibrium of the temperature and climate. And finally, the issues like climate change arises. So how does climate change affect us? This is also a very important question. Now, the Earth is only known as terrestrial planet where all forms of life from basic living microorganism to highly sophisticated and intelligent human beings exist. This is a place which has favorable climate conditions. We get optimal level of solar energy, water and gravitational pull, and that is the reason we human beings are surviving on this earth. So if the flow of energy gets disturbed, it affects every factor that supports the life system on the earth. In other words, we can say that the climate change affects the earth geological, biological, and ecological systems, which are accompanied by extreme weather, ozone depletion, increased danger for windfall fires, loss of biodiversity, stresses on food producing system, and the global spread of infectious diseases. The rise of temperature increases the average temperature of the earth, which will increase the sea level due to the melting of polar ice caps that will most likely produce flood like situations, which will ultimately threat the coastal environment. The increase in ocean temperature will contribute stronger and more frequent storms. Now, apart from the consequences, the climate change primarily challenge the adaptation process on the earth through various factors. So, how is it that we can control climate change? Now, we all know the reason for climate change. We all know what is causing global warming. So, now we are in a position to understand how we can reduce the impact of climate change. Now, this can happen by reducing the dependency of on fossil fuels and increase the use of renewable sources of energy like solar energy, wind energy, etc. Using fuel efficient vehicles like Bharat stage emission and standards engine. Optimize the fuel consumption and limit the use of carbon polluters and plant more and more trees to reduce the impact of deforestation. We can also bring simple life changes in our daily life so that we bring more greenery to the environment, so that we commute less through vehicles, so that we create an environment friendly atmosphere, which is eventually going to not only help us but also for the future generation, that is our children. Thank you.